Hey everyone, Probescus here, and welcome to my prediction for the upcoming Battle Royale. Today we have Yoshi, the cheerful steed of Yoshi's Island, and Spyro, the magical purple dragon of the Dragon Realms. In these videos I'll go over what these two can do in combat, list off their stats, and then show off who I think is going to win. Quick note before I start, it has been confirmed by CrossoverX that Spyro will be composited. This means the classic games, the Legend of Spyro games, and the Skylanders games, and I assume the Netflix show, will be taken into account. With that said, I'm going to be taking these into account as well. Another thing too is that it has also been confirmed that both Yoshi and Spyro will be allowed to have support from outside sources. Yoshi will be getting Baby Mario, and Spyro will be getting Sparks the Dragonfly. So I'll be taking them into account as well. Let's begin. First is Yoshi. Not much is known about Yoshi's origin. We do know that he was one of the 7 star children destined for greatness, which also included Mario, Luigi, Wario, Donkey Kong, Peach, and Bowser. Yoshi was in charge of protecting them, but Bowser later defected and became the villain of the series that we all know and love today. Luigi was captured, Wario was abandoned in a cave, Donkey Kong mysteriously disappeared, and Peach and Mario were rescued. But Mario stumbled upon Yoshi, and the two formed a sort of partnership. The two then defeated Bowser, saved Yoshi's Island, and eventually worked together for other jobs defeating Bowser as well. That's basically all of the story. Now for abilities. Yoshi's got a handful of these abilities. He is stated in the lore to be one of, if not the fastest character in the Mario universe, and has a very strange weapon, his stomach. With his stretchy tongue, he can absorb practically anything, ranging from tasty fruit to balls of burning fire. He can later eat these and eject them out as eggs, which are used as containers. And his ground pound puts all of his momentum into a slant straight down to the ground, sort of like Crash Bandicoot. Yoshi can also run in midair, which somehow gives him short-range flight, to an extent anyway. That pretty much sums up his abilities. Now for his equipment. The Mario series is full of insane power-ups, and Yoshi carries quite a few of them as well. The Dash Pepper, which turns him into Dash Yoshi, increases his speed massively. The Bulb Berry, which turns him into Bulb Yoshi, lets him glow in the dark and see invisible enemies. The Blimp Berry, which turns him into Blimp Yoshi, lets him fly around farther than he already does. And he can also use Watermelon, which while does not allow transformations, it does allow for unique abilities. The green watermelon lets him shoot watermelon seeds like a machine gun, the red watermelon lets him shoot small fireballs, and the blue watermelon gives him ice breath, allowing him to freeze enemies in place. When he doesn't use tasty foods for extra weapons and abilities, and also a good snack, he uses his iconic egg. As said before, this can be used as a storage device for whatever Yoshi last ate. It can also be used as a throwing object, a shield, or a rolling device to roll around in the battlefield Sonic style. That's all of his abilities and equipment. Now for his support. Yoshi's support is the young baby Mario. You know how Mario is the most popular character in video game history? Well, his time as a baby is when he spent most of his time with Yoshi. As a baby, Mario is Yoshi's rider and the kid that Yoshi must protect. Baby Mario is a small baby that is the master of annoyingly crying every time he falls off Yoshi's back. Yeah. And that's pretty much Baby Mario, which isn't a lot. Now it's time for Yoshi's feats. Yoshi is insanely strong, and I mean insanely strong. Do you recall how Bowser defected from the Star Children? Well, Yoshi ended up defeating him. How? By throwing eggs at his head. No, I'm not kidding, but whatever. Yoshi has also melted ice boulders instantly when using the red watermelon, carried Mario and Luigi on his back with ease, and most impressively, he knocked Raphael the Raven out so hard, the resulting explosion created a constellation. Now obviously it wasn't a full constellation despite the shape it forms of Raphael's figure. but the fact that it created one full star is good enough. For comparison, to be considered star level, meaning how powerful you need to be to destroy a star, you must deal energy of 164.913 tenatons. And it takes more energy to create something than it does to destroy it. But for the sake of time and effort, we'll roll up to about this much. And being faster than Mario on foot and reacting to the launch of the launch star, which launches someone from one planet to another, in time to stick the landing, means he's pretty speedy as well. He also tanked an explosion that leveled a small island, so yeah, he's pretty tough too. Now into weaknesses. Yoshi is an incredible fighter, and extremely powerful, but he's not flawless. First things first, he needs to find the power-ups that grant him all these cool powers. He can't just pocket them for later use. Not only that, but his power-ups have time limits, and can be worn out pretty easily. He can consume enemies and encase them in eggs, but he can't eat every enemy he sees. If one is too big or covered in spikes, he's not eating that stuff. Also, while he is superior to the likes of Wario and Donkey Kong, even though Donkey Kong knocked the moon out of orbit and Wario tanked the shaking small planet level explosion, he does not scale to any of the higher tier feats that characters like Mario, Luigi, or Bowser have accomplished. And you know, they also have faster than light and solar system level feats, which Yoshi scales to basically none of that. And I know I said before how Yoshi fought Bowser, but that was before any of that ever happened. Yoshi's also got some cowardice to him. If he's in a situation he thinks he can't handle, he'll panic and run, which can lead to some fatal mistakes, such as falling off of a cliff that's blatantly in front of him. But if you think that knowing this gives you an instant win against Yoshi, you are sorely mistaken. And lucky for him, he did accomplish his goal after defeating Bowser. Mario grew up to the legend we know today, and the two still share a bond to this day. Good on you, Yoshi. That's everything I got on Yoshi. Now for Spyro. Spyro's story is way more complex than Yoshi's, and there's a lot more to cover, so strap in. In the distant past, the dragons who once used their magical abilities to help the Forgotten Realms prosper were banished to the opposite end of the world by an evil sorceress. Life in their new world was peaceful as the dragons rebuilt their society from scratch, until an interloper named Nasty Nork took over the Dragon Realms. Once having lived alongside them, he refused to abide by their customs and lusted for the treasure they had accumulated. After returning from exile, he used his magic to encase all of the dragons inside crystals, save for one small purple fellow, who would ultimately prove to be his downfall, Spyro the Dragon. Spyro and his best friend Sparx were born during the Dragon Realms era of peace, and became close through the unusual circumstances behind their births. Their eggs were once stolen by a group of thieves under the dragon's noses, and when they were alerted to the theft, the thieves dropped the eggs when the larger egg began glowing red and spewing fire. From it, Spyro emerged, and not too long after, Spyro saved the baby Sparx from being eaten by a group of birds. The two would spend their youth together, engaging in all forms of tomfoolery, and when Nasty Nork enacted his coup, Spyro and Sparx traveled to the realms to save their kin and defeated the rogue wizard. In turn, the two entered legend as the heroes who saved the dragons from certain doom. Since then, the duo have embarked on many other adventures to combat many a would-be conqueror, like the dinosaur dictator Ripto, the traitorous Dragon Elder Red, and the sorceress responsible for banishing the dragons in the first place. That's pretty much Spyro's origin. Now for what he can do. Spyro's main ability is his elemental manipulation. He can create surges of energy around his body of specific elements. Such elements include fire, electricity, ice, earth, wind, and ether. In lore, ether is a spiritual matter that the universe is made of, and is Spyro's true element. Spyro can use ether for minor regeneration and to create portals into other dimensions. Spyro also has Dragon Time, which lets him slow down time to escape deadly traps, and can also create time crystals, tough enough to withstand a mountain falling on him. Although it did knock him out. Spyro can also breathe certain elements, which should come to no surprise considering he's a dragon. He can breathe fire, electricity, wind, ice, and the aforementioned ether. And being a dragon, Spyro can also fly around the battlefield for extra maneuverability, although he usually just simply glides around it. Spyro is also a master of Dragon Kata, a martial art that Spyro can use that allows for other specific fighting moves. But Spyro's greatest asset is also a huge curse. Spyro was infected by dark ether, so uncreative, and merged with his body, transforming him into Dark Spyro. Dark Spyro can use all of the abilities that Spyro can, while also adding on a stat boost, petrification, and minor telekinesis. That's all of Spyro's abilities. Now for equipment. Spyro doesn't have a lot of equipment, but the equipment he does have consists of the Shadow Stone, which he needs to have in order to use Dragon Kata. The Shadow Stone is an incredibly powerful amulet that allows the user to access both the Shadow Realm and the real world. It enhances the magic of anyone who uses it, including Spyro, and can be used to trap people in the Shadow Realm, so he doesn't have to kill people to win, unless they can escape dimensions. And that's all of Spyro's equipment. Kind of underwhelming, but whatever. Now for support. Spyro's support is Sparx the Dragonfly. Sparx is a dragonfly from the Dragon Realms, and he and Spyro became lifelong friends and travel companions when the latter saved the former from being eaten as a child. Sparx is a visual indicator of how much health Spyro currently has. He remains in his normal golden form if Spyro is healthy, and degrades until he disappears, indicating that Spyro is near death. He also acts as a second set of eyes, capable of spotting treasure for Spyro to collect. That's everything about Sparx. Now for Spyro's feats. Spyro is incredibly strong. He shattered stone walls and rocks with ease, hurt mechanized creatures which are made of steel, and with all of his strength and magic, he molded the Earth together after it got split apart by a being known as the Destroyer, who Spyro fought before, but required the help of Cinder and 4 other dragons to help out. He's dodged point-blank cannonballs, was able to catch up and reach Nasty Nork in time before he escaped, and dodged lightning in his final battle against Malifaux. He tanked attacks from the likes of Ripto, the Sorceress, and Cinder, who were magical wielders, and Cinder being Spyro's equal in terms of magical capabilities, and tanked attacks from Malifaux, who not only slammed Spyro into a wall of volcanic rock, but also had enough power to destroy the planet. That's all of Spyro's abilities and feats. Now for his weaknesses. Spyro's main weakness is his Dark Spyro transformation. Not only does it focus on his negative emotions and can take over, but it also doesn't have any stated boost in physical stats. We know it gives him one, but we don't know by how much. Is it a 2% increase? A 10% increase? A 2 times increase? We just don't know. And it has barely any feats that tell us anything, and the feats it does have aren't anything Spyro can't do without it. He's also insanely arrogant to a fault, and it can prove to be an obstacle to get in his way. But regardless, Spyro's still incredibly powerful and skilled, and he eventually did retake the Dragon Realms after defeating the Sorceress, Ripto, and Nasty Nork for causing so much trouble to him and his species. Good on you, Spyro. Keep doing what you're doing. Okay, actually, don't do that. None of that. Go back to what you were doing before. Defeat Nasty Nork, Ripto, and the Sorceress again. Oh, looks like you're probably going to be doing that already. Cool.
Hey, Shorty! Maybe I can help.
What? You again?
Yup. If you want to test that power crystal, why don't you try it on me? I'll stand still. I promise.
I like that idea. Dragon, you've just sealed your fate!
And that's everything I know about these two characters. Now for my prediction. I think the winner of this Battle Royale will be Yoshi. Ugh, this sucks. I love Yoshi, don't get me wrong, but I really want Spyro to win. I grew up with the Spyro games when I was a kid, and loved the games ever since. And with the remasters coming out at some point, my respect for Spyro repeaked and grew. It's such a shame that he can't win this one. But this is a prediction video, not a fanboyism video. And unfortunately, Yoshi has this in the bag. And now it's time to discuss why. Let's start off with the physical stats, starting with strength. Yoshi creating a constellation after defeating Raphael the Raven should put him at about star level. Spyro, on the other hand, molded the Earth together with his magic, which is about planet level. So clear as day, Yoshi is definitely superior in strength to Spyro. Now for speed. While Spyro has reacted to lightning in the past, which puts him at massively hypersonic, Yoshi has kept up with Mario, and reacted to being launched from one planet to another in a matter of seconds, putting him at least faster than light. So speed blitz alert, Yoshi outpaces Spyro. Durability wise, in terms of feats, Yoshi survived an explosion that leveled a small island, and Spyro survived his from Malifaux, who could destroy the Earth. So feats wise, Spyro edges out, but then we look at the basic rule that attack potency scales to durability because of Newton's third law, and Yoshi would be star level and Spyro is planet level. So while that gives Yoshi an edge, I'm gonna go ahead and give Spyro the benefit of the doubt and give him the durability edge. Now for the rest of the smaller advantages. They're roughly equal in versatility, Yoshi is more experienced and Spyro is smarter, but not by much. Spyro's Shadow Stone would be helpful, but it's not impossible for Yoshi to get around it. While he has no way to escape dimensional traps, his greater speed and strength will get around it. Yoshi can literally get rid of Spyro before he gets the opportunity to use it anyway. As for their support, Sparks is superior to Baby Mario by quite a bit. Baby Mario does nothing except ride on Yoshi's back and cry when he's not. Sparks, while not a combatant nor adds abilities, he is an extra set of eyes and a visual representation of Spyro's physical state. But added support doesn't matter when Yoshi is far stronger, faster, and far more experienced than Spyro. And considering Spyro's durability edge is giving him the benefit of the doubt, and the rest of the categories Yoshi doesn't have an advantage over Spyro in being even, and that Spyro being smarter doesn't mean much, Spyro can put up a decent fight, but in the end he's pretty much outclassed. With all that in mind, I can safely say that Yoshi will be the winner of this Battle Royale. Now that that's done, this video has come to a close. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you're excited for more. While it sucks that my preferred character and one of my childhood gaming heroes loses this one handily, I am looking forward to this fight, and hope that they can give Spyro as much credit as possible. And if he wins, while I don't see how, I will be really happy. And with that, I'm going to end this off. So, that's all I have to say, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you all later.